Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Hey, say, what's that you got there?
No one on camera can actually see it, but just like you, sir,
Oh, that's a
we're
nice looking
rocking
hammer.
ourselves a large Thor hammer Mjolnir, or however you pronounce it.
Mjolnir.
They're good. It's good shit. Check out both of our unboxings for the respective collector's editions. They are live now on the Player 2 website and YouTube channel. So go check all those out. It's kind of cool that you and everyone else around the world now finally gets a chance to play God of War, because it's been kind of hard not going near spoilerish stuff, kind of having to sit on everything for weeks, and now the world is finally starting to catch up a little bit. So
Yes, and I do one God of War tag, and then all of a sudden, all these other stupid God of War things come up. So,
have you been spoiled?
not really. I just see Kratos' head, and it's like, nah, skip past that. Don't need to know.
Scroll straight past.
Just
Same with
who's
YouTube. Just
next?
don't look.
It's like pass.
It's a load of shit. I hate the YouTube algorithms and all that sort of stuff. They're really out there to kill you. But so far, good to hear you've dodged the bullet. Hopefully you can continue to do that, like I somehow managed to do with The Last of Us Part 2. Because I know there's a ton of spoilers for God of War out there, let alone the fact that it's obviously public now, so there's just more people talking about it. But you're doing well so far. Good to hear. And hopefully you can just, I don't know, head down, bum up, smash through it in a week and dodge everything. Yeah. From what you were saying before, you're like 3-4 hours in?
3-4 hours in. I just rescued a guy. That's as far as I got.
Don't worry, we're allowed to talk about that one. That was in the preview embargo. That's tier. So that's a bit of context for anyone, I guess, who's watching or listening and is also playing God of War. I guess before we jump into our proper topic for the day, you finished 2018 in the lead up to this.
Yes, I did.
How are you feeling about all things God of War? Like, did that do all sorts of good for your excitement for Ragnarok, or?
Not really. It just finished the game because the end of 2018's God of War, I was getting excited because the ending is actually really, really cool. Like, just the big, not so much the hammer, it's more the boss battle you have where Boy and Kratos go tag team and just do really cool
Boulder,
shit. Yeah. And then I got excited that it finished. I was like, oh, I don't want to kill any stupid ghost crows or ravens, whatever. Then I did what you said with go back home, and it's really weird because I played it like a week apart. That same scene is in Ragnarok, but Atreus is grown like 4 inches taller.
Had he for that particular scene?
Was that?
Had he for that particular scene?
Yeah,
because they kind of have the little flash, and they show. I'll have to pay closer attention.
It says many years later, but Atreus is still a small child in the 2018 version of the cutscene. Yeah, because I just looked at it and went, hang on, you haven't grown an inch in many years later. And then in Ragnarok, they do that exact same cutscene again, but he's taller.
I'll have to pay closer attention.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I sort of feel like that's what I picked up. I thought many years later, he hasn't grown at all. He's just a small boy still. And then you come to 2022 version, he is a slightly taller boy.
So yeah, taller, proper teenage boy that no one calls boy anymore. But anyway,
it's been 4.5 hours. I haven't heard the single word of boy yet. I'm thinking, have times have changed.
I mean, I've still got side quests to go. I'm hoping that I hear a bit more boy in there, just as it's less important now. Let's have a little bit of fun with it and drop a couple of boys from time to time, because they know that people are looking for it. Like, it's almost one of those, he hasn't said it, finally says it, and the crowd goes wild.
Say it. No, you said it.
Don't just leave us waiting until the Game Awards or something like that, when you're scooping up thousands of awards, most likely.
Might as well. Everyone else might as well not even turn up. They might as well just stay home.
Well, we'll have a bit of a sense for what's going on, because by the time this episode goes live, about 3 hours earlier, I think it is, the Game Awards nominees will be live. So the 6 Game of the Year nominees, which will include God of War, I think it'll include Horizon, I think it'll include Elden Ring. They're, I think, the obvious
other
3
suckers.
Yeah, and a few other suckers.
Just 4, thanks for coming.
Making up the numbers. And even then, I would argue Horizon's just making it, like, I would place Horizon above Elden Ring, but I know the majority wouldn't. So I think even then, Horizon's probably just making up the numbers as well. So it's a 2-horse race, and it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll have to do some predictions for that when we get a little bit closer, as is kind of our way. But we did talk about beforehand this episode may be short, and we're finding ways already to bloat the runtime of this one out.
It's what we do best.
It's
what we do best.
Let's get on topic. Netflix have got some shows coming. That's fine. We know that's coming. They churn through TV shows. And we thought it's probably worthwhile discussing a couple big ones that got some key details revealed about them this week. Firstly, Dragon Age Absolution, which is a kind of anime-styled spin-off. Or animated, I should say. I won't say anime because that might upset people.
So if it's anime, everyone's going down the anime path at the moment with games.
Yeah, Gears and obviously Castlevania is already doing it, and a bunch of others. Yeah.
Cyberpunk, I think it was another one.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That was specifically a team who does anime as their kind of primary thing, like a Japanese team that I think did it too. So, plenty going on there. But yeah, Dragon Age Absolution got its, premiere date. It's coming out December 9th.
Not that close.
Yeah, it's less than a month away at this point. So, what are you thinking when it comes to Dragon Age specifically?
I never thought to myself, would I ever watch a Dragon Age TV show? And to this point, the answer is no. Because I thought it was going to be a live action thing when we first talked about it. I thought, oh yeah, it's going to get buried by people who say, oh, this is just Game of Thrones. Pretty much, it's just dragons and monsters and wizards and all that other stuff. But being an animation, I don't know. I still don't know.
It opens up a lot more options. There's things you can't do especially when you're a TV show that's doing fantasy stuff, because you've got CG budgets and all those sort of things that just aren't an issue when you're animated. So, which I think is also a key component of the other show that we'll talk about shortly, but not because it's fantasy. I don't know. I'm kind of keen on it. Like I enjoy Dragon Age, but I've also never finished a single one of them.
Really?
I'm hoping that this will just kind of be, even like Inquisition was one that I was really, really enjoying, and then I think something kind of rolled along at some point. Dragon Age 2, did I even play Dragon Age 2? I think I might have been scared off by some of the negativity around that.
You're not missing out on much on Dragon Age 2.
But the original I think I got probably 90% of the way through, which frustrates me because I never finished it. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened in that one, but I think like Dragon Age, I've liked it, but I've never finished it. I'm hoping that this is kind of the thing that gets me to go back and probably start with Inquisition, just because Origins visually is aged pretty badly. So that's a bigger obstacle to get over. But if I can play Inquisition, kind of fall in love with Inquisition again, kind of get that love of Dragon Age going, and then go, all right, cool. Like I'm in the right headspace for this now. Story-wise, is going to be better, despite the fact that visually it looks worse, and I can just kind of overcome the visuals and maybe the clunkier gameplay and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I mean, BioWare, good storytellers too. Netflix is on a bit of a tear when it comes to some of the adaptations that they do, so I'd like to feel pretty confident that they've got something good here. I don't know. What about you?
And also, they got The Witcher on there as well, so you got another fantasy thing as well. And old Paul Liam's going to have a hard time with that one, so good luck to him.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting because it is going to be a animated series. It sort of makes you really think, because like you said, you're not going to have any CG dragons, magic, fantasy lands and all that stuff. Don't think anyone saw that. Nice move. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's more the question, what's EA going to do? They just get a stay out of it, mind their own business, or just... Will there be like auto options to select when you're having a conversation?
I wonder if they'll somehow manage to inject microtransactions into it.
Yes.
Yeah. Want to pay for episode 2 to see it sooner? Yeah, it's coming out weekly, but if you want to pay to see it sooner, you can sign up to our season pass and get all the...
skip the ads, pay this much. Oh, they would do that too.
No, I'm kind of fairly confident in the direction that EA is going, actually, as a developer and publisher. Maybe that's an episode for another time. But
they finally listened to everyone after their dreadful Star Wars games.
Well, I mean, we've got obviously Fallen Order and a sequel there. They're being really, really open about Dead Space and Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and they're trying to let people escape. They're trying to show people what's going on. They're even being fairly transparent about, okay, like here's how we fucked up with Battlefield. Here's how we're going to try and rectify things with the next one. And all that sort of things.
Battlefield, those better battle royale games. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think a bit of like they're trying to be transparent, and obviously that's not necessarily going to work. Even the Sims 5, that they've kind of gone, look, this thing's on the way.
Jeez.
Yeah. Can you imagine Sims 5? I know.
Oh, I remember playing The Sims like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I still vividly remember drowning people or locking them in kitchens and starting a fire.
Pools and not letting them go to the toilet, and people laughing at them when they wet themselves. They were fun days.
And now they don't allow any of that sort of shit, from what I can tell.
I know. Anyway. Oh,
2 PC.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, I'm kind of keen on Dragon Age, but I'll just have to see where I can kind of slot the time to play it, to watch it, because even at the time there's
both for you at this. But oh man, there's too many TV shows at the moment. I can't even get around to all of them. It's just
I'm finally starting to sort my shit out there. I've watched season 2 of The Mandalorian finally.
Oh, now you have to watch the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, now I got the Boba Fett, and then I've got to get to I've got to finish off, because I started the exact same story as Mandalorian. I started Obi-Wan, but then didn't finish it. And then there's Andor that everyone's losing their shit about at the moment, let alone Tales from the Jedi and all these like the animated things that they've got going. And I don't mean older things like Clone Wars and Rebels, because I've watched all of them, but that's when they weren't churning out 5,000 Star Wars things a week. So to be fair, it all seems pretty high quality. Like certainly,
that's the thing. It's not terrible. That's
Mandalorian
the thing
season 3 comes out in January or February.
Yeah, that's the thing, because when you see like so many things coming out, you're like, oh, I don't want to anymore. And then everyone's saying, oh, this is really good. It's getting better. And then all you dickhead Star Wars fans, I know we're going off track here. Like, oh, shit, it's not that. Like, shut your face. It's a good quality TV show. Go sit in the corner and watch your 1970s movie.
Yeah. Speaking of things that should be pretty good quality as well, Gears. Gears is getting an animated. So again, just like Dragon Age, it's getting an animated movie or TV show. And I think it's a movie. I think an animated movie. And Netflix, like, humans, real life action movie as well. What do you make of Gears getting a bit of? Yeah, there was kind of 2 Gears products there. I'll double check the exact specifics. I'll get their exact wording while we're talking. But yeah, that's the goal at the moment. What do you make of kind of Netflix and Gears getting together? Also, Dave Bautista's desperately trying to be.
I know, Marcus Phoenix,
which is good.
Which is good, because he does fit the role pretty good. The only problem is his age. Unless you go like an old Marcus Phoenix between Gears 3 and Gears 4, sure, he's the guy for it. But it sort of depends where.
Fire up the Lancers. The Gears of War universe is coming to Netflix.
Oh, great.
Netflix will adapt the video game saga into a live-action feature film, followed by an adult animated series.
So Netflix is going to be making TV more. Series. So wait, hang on. So Netflix is going to be making more content than Microsoft Game Studios. Yeah. That's embarrassing.
To be fair, I think I'm guessing the timing of. So I can't even imagine what would be first. Well, no, actually, sorry, they specify the order. It's the live action followed by the adult animated series. So I'd imagine that the movie is probably slated for. So what are we going into 2023? So maybe 2024. That's probably the right window for Gears 6 to roll along.
Oh yes.
I reckon you get the movie first, and I think this could be kind of what's even happening with The Last of Us at the moment. And I guess I'll speculate on that in a sec. But that they begin with the movie, the game comes out, and so you get your your spike in sales or Game Pass subscriptions for Gears 6. And then just as that starts to slow down, the animated series premieres. And so you just keep driving those Gears numbers for a while. I think the same sort of thing might be, it's kind of different, but the same sort of thing might be happening with The Last of Us stuff, where Last of Us Part 1 remake, remaster, whatever's come out, the TV series begins, what did we say?
January or February?
January? I've gone blank now.
Like early next year.
January 5th or something like that, yeah. It's the very beginning of the year. And then I reckon that, like, and maybe we get the announcement at the Game Awards or something like that. I feel like the native PS5 version of The Last of Us Part 2 finally gets announced. So kind of what we've seen with a whole bunch of... I'm not saying I want that, but in the same way
the
that we've
thing is,
had...
though, we don't want it, but it will happen. That is
yeah.
the Jim Ryan world we live in.
If all things go right and they kind of keep to their word about other next-gen kind of ports, like what happened with Ghost of Tsushima and those sort of things, and that's also why I think it's going to happen, because Ghost of Tsushima came out after The Last of Us Part 2, and yet it's had its PS5 native remaster for about a year already. Hopefully it's just like the $10 or like maybe $20 upgrade and you get your PS5 version.
No.
If they do it like Ghost, then, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, then hopefully it's just that for the upgrade. Yeah. If you buy it on disc, obviously you're going to have to pay full price, but if you want to just do that upgrade, $20 and just put your PS4 disc in to verify it. I don't know.
Maybe.
If of course, you don't have a digital version.
Or Jim Ryan's just a dickhead. Who knows? I'll make Jim at his best.
I think both can exist at the same time. But yeah, Gears. Anyway, what do you think about let's maybe start with the live action thing first. I think that goes back to what I was talking about before with the fantasy stuff. Like, you can't... I don't think you can go too crazy when it comes to... Obviously, Gears is pretty gory with the way that they use the lances chainsawing through everything, really. I don't think they can kind of get that extreme. I also don't know how you can get these roided out sort of actors. Like, Dave Bautista's pretty jacked, but he's not... doesn't come close to even Baird, who's probably the smallest of the core four.
Yeah, but is it the suits they got to put on, or because the suits make him look big? That's the thing. I don't think. Oh no, actually,
but
you still see the no, they're pretty big. Actually, come to think of it, when they don't have the suits on, they're pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Good luck trying to find massive. Like, go to a bodybuilders comp.
Yeah, you get there. But then, of course, they can't act, so you're kind of in this weird sort of spot. It'll be interesting. They're going to have to make some compromises, I think, in that space. Like, Dave Bautista's and whatnot are going to be probably going to be fantastic. He obviously really, really wants it. So for me, that just makes sense that he's in there somehow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's got. I reckon he fits the role perfectly for Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's just
I think it'll just be a bunch of jacked blokes as opposed to these just monster sort of guys, because otherwise you sacrifice too much on the acting side.
Yeah, plus also movement.
Well, that too.
Because no one can run that fast or move their head.
Old Gears roadie run.
They won't be able to move their necks. They'll just have to turn their full body and go.
We just recruit a bunch of rugby players.
But they have no necks either. Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, just. Fine. Well, they can't
Matthew
act either.
Watching just threw his drink at the screen then when he heard me make a crack at rugby players.
Sprayed. What? Rugby players have necks?
we just can't see them. They're there though.
We just can't see them.
It's just covered with so much muscle.
They're like this. So much muscle.
That's a lot of chins I just showed off then. Adult animated series. Now the adult thing is just, I think, emphasized.
Why?
We're not just going to suddenly get like a porno. It's not going to be anything like that.
We can finally see the Lancer cutting through a locust.
Yeah, I think it's just going to, like, you're just going to see exploding locusts left, right, and center.
Just
it's going to be pretty graphic.
Gore, cut. Not that type of adult entertainment. Yeah. It's the other adult entertainment. Not for children, but that's also goes
not
both
hypersexual,
ways.
hyperviolent.
The hyperviolent type.
Yeah.
The other excitement that gets people excited, which is violence, and then Peter Dutton can then talk about that.
Oh, fuck.
And continue to talk about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Good on you for managing to jam Peter Dutton into this conversation.
I know, because
it's all violent. Do you expect it to be stories that fit alongside the stuff that already exists, or do you feel like at least maybe the movie or whatever is going to be a retelling of something?
I feel like the movie will be a retelling of the games. Was there books for Gears of War or any?
Oh yeah, and they're
comics?
Awesome. They are.
Awesome. I reckon the adult animation series would probably go off the comics. That's because that would make more. Well, either way, it's comic book movies than that. But so the game itself is not long as it is, so you could probably put it into a movie. You just don't need all the unnecessary crap.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But something like the comics, you could probably put. Yeah, that's how I see it. Or you could do the other way around, but it'd just make no sense. the way I see it.
Yeah, it makes. Yeah, I think it makes less sense that way. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for these, I think more than most of the adaptations, I'm pretty excited. Like, I love Gears,
Yeah, so
so
do I.
I'm pretty keen to get into it. That was
But
really
that's sort of
well.
half the problem
Gross
as well.
really
If they
well,
sort of stuff something up, I'm like, hey, how dare you do that? It's like they let Carmine survive or something. I think that's not the
what
Gears way.
I
You
forgot.
can't.
Like, Cliff Blazinski's been making jokes about the Carmines. Obviously, Cliff Blazinski, for anyone unsure, is the guy responsible for Gears of War at the end of the day. Really, he's the one that kind of came up with it years and years ago. So obviously, but he's not part of. He doesn't work with the coalition these days. He's totally off on his own. He's making his own games and that sort of thing. So he's been able to kind of sit and speculate about the casting and all those sorts of things. I'm just trying to scroll through. Here we go. One of his tweets just after the announcement happened was, "Oh, and keep Chris Pratt away from the Gears franchise, please, for fuck's sake." And there's been a brilliant.
What's with the Chris Pratt thing?
There's someone that's like, yeah, and to Cliff's credit,
Right.
he's retweeted it, so it's popped up for everyone to see. But someone has like stuck Chris Pratt onto every single Gears character, like a little animated version of every single Gears character.
Was this because of the whole Mario thing?
Yeah, it's because of Mario, and the fact that he's kind of in everything.
Yeah,
But
well, that too.
there were jokes about him, like Chris Pratt being every single one of the Carmines, which
That would be
funny.
quite funny.
That would be funny. Like, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you just go. You're a bit confused, but whatever. It's Chris Pratt for a moment. You can go, oh, and then he's dead.
It's okay, because you're not going to see his face because he always wears a helmet, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And there's just many ways for Chris Pratt to die in each Gears movie, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
first one, so Gears 1, shot in the head by a sniper rifle. Gears 2, eaten by a giant monster's stomach. Somewhere.
Jeez, you remember it well.
Yeah, I can't remember what 3 was. 4 didn't exist. 5, there was 2 of them. 1 got blown up.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, jeez. Yes. Yeah. See, I remember now.
I just can't remember what happened in 3. It's probably got shot or something silly, as always. Or every time I just heard the word Carmine, I was like, okay, how you gonna die this time?
Well, I remember there was a poll for one of them. I can't remember which Gears. Was it Gears 3? Where, yeah, they had a poll for like, should he live or die? And
or maybe
the
he
community
lived.
voted for him to live, and he survived.
Or maybe, yeah, okay, so maybe that's why I can't remember how he died, because he actually did survive.
Got through, yeah.
Got through. Oh well, you can't win them all.
No, you can't win them all. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're clearly the same mind when it comes to that one. Probably more than most. Gears could and hopefully should be pretty awesome, and it's also Microsoft's first step into this space as well. That PlayStation is obviously well underway in already, and they've kind of got their own obviously film sort of brand to kind of lean on a bit. But I don't know if you noticed today or yesterday there was a photo put up by Sony Pictures, which is them on the first day of recording of the Gran Turismo movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Scheduled to come out next year. So
how do you do a movie of 2 hours of just driving, doing laps in a car?
Well, it sounds like it's basically, from what my understanding is, it's like a kid
like
who used to play Gran Turismo heaps as a kid that then grows up to become a pro racer, which, considering what we've seen recently, where someone, did you see the footage from, I don't even know, I wouldn't be able to guess maybe it was NASCAR or some shit.
Oh yeah, around the side. That was NASCAR.
Hugged the wall and then got interviewed afterwards. He's like, yeah, I played heaps of NASCAR when I was at
on the
GameCube
Nintendo GameCube. I thought, of all consoles,
so I thought I'd try
the
and pull it
Nintendo
off.
GameCube. I thought, wow,
that beautiful little console that we were talking about
like
last week.
Just like from a video game. It was from a video game, that old slingshot around the side, so it does work.
Yeah, you watch a number of people try that one out now. That last ditch, fucking, I just got to go slam into the wall and just ride it.
Yes, just do $30,000 worth of damage, but totally worth it.
Oh, absolutely worth it. If you win, it's or like, get that podium spot or save yourself from not progressing or whatever. Totally worth it. Guy nailed it. But then, obviously, they've got Gran Turismo that's there. Last of Us is about to come out in terms of TV. You've got God of War coming to TV. You've got Horizon coming to TV. You've got Twisted Metal coming to TV. Uncharted, we've obviously already had an Uncharted movie. So, like, PlayStation's well ahead in that sort of space. And I'd also argue Xbox probably doesn't have the same number of franchises they could do it with. They've done Halo. Yeah, they've done Halo.
That's it. That's all the franchise has got.
Fable, but even then, it just feels like
Oh.
it's more generic fantasy thing at that point that you can just stick the name Fable on.
Yeah, you can do that with anything. You could just change Merlin to Fable and the TV
Most
show
people would know no
Merlin.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
What else? What else do they have?
I don't know. Perfect Dark.
It could be kind of cool,
That
but
would be
they need
cool.
to kind of get the game franchise up and about first. So
Yeah,
they need to put
that's
all
not
their time
happening.
into that. Sea of
Banjo
Thieves is a
Kazooie.
pirate thing.
Ooh,
Sea of Thieves could be pretty cool. Like pirates
that
are cool.
would be good. Yeah, then they could probably show them how to make a good pirate movie, unlike Pirates of the Caribbean. Banjo Kazooie as a kids film, everyone would love that.
Yeah.
No, Donkey Kong's a Nintendo thing. Don't know what else they have. Jet Force Gemini,
Oh,
because no one knows that.
just had to go real deep there. Yeah, they don't. There's not a lot else.
Jetpack.
I'm looking at. Admittedly, I don't have a lot of physical copy Xbox One games for fairly obvious reasons. There wasn't many.
Because they
and,
don't have any.
Yeah, there wasn't many.
Hey, Forza.
It's just Gran Turismo movie 2.
Gran Turismo with Forza on it. That's pretty much
PlayStation
what
got
it
there
is.
first. They've kind of
Damn.
seeded that one.
What a shame. You're going to be there all day.
Recall
have a-
the movie. Quantum Break the movie. Yeah, that's not.
Fusion Frenzy, the movie.
Oh.
Grabbed by the Ghoulies, the
Battletoads.
movie. Grabbed by the Ghoulies, the movie.
Yeah.
Cameo, the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. They better just nail. They better
Conquer.
just nail season 2 of Halo and get Gears.
Why
up
don't
and
they
running.
do our Conquer animated
Oh,
TV series?
That could be. That could be
What are
like,
they
like your
doing?
Beavis and Butthead, like aggressive style, like kind of taking the piss or
Yeah.
on the edge sort of humor.
Why haven't they thought of that? Are they trying to be a kid-friendly... Well, actually, Little Gears of War, an adult animated series, so don't see how that's
Yeah,
kid-friendly.
they're not worried about kid friendly.
Well,
Oh,
goodness.
yeah, okay, we're onto something there. All right, let's wrap this one up then. We've got 2 different animated series coming, Dragon Age and Gears, and a Gears of War live action feature film as well. That's all pretty cool. And obviously there's tons and tons of different adaptations going on that we've already discussed, let alone like there's a Super Mario Brothers movie coming. So that looks, I mean, did you watch that trailer the other week?
I did, and
It looks
I'll say
pretty sweet, right?
Jack Black absolutely nailed Bowser. I'll give
Because
credit
you
to
don't
I
even know that it's Jack Black. Like it's so
Yeah, no,
hard.
that's the thing. It just sounds like, oh, that's just a Bowser sounding voice. That's an actor. And
But then of course
then
there's Chris Pratt. Then we
then
go
there's
back
Chris
to that
Pratt as
conversation.
Mario and whoever the
But
hell
even
was
that wasn't
Toad.
that bad. Like
Yeah, no, who was Toad? I can't remember who Toad was. I was like, yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, I can't
High
remember.
pitched, annoyed. But
yeah, I
yeah,
don't remember that one.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as what people think. I think they just heard Chris Pratt, he's a cool guy, and everyone's like, oh god,
Yeah,
we're doomed.
let's move on from the Chris Pratt.
Because people,
thing.
I think
need
people
to-
still have nightmares from the 1993 movie, which was
Oh,
not that good.
yeah, no, not
To be,
good.
let's be honest here, it wasn't even what is it even about Mario itself? It's just they rocked up in some
Yeah, no,
absolute
it's-
hole of a place.
Whereas this one seems to be nailing it. I'm pretty excited. Like I feel like that's a day one, possibly even me taking at least maybe Noah for his first movie. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Could be very loud and very scary for him. Could also ruin the movie for me. We'll see how we go. Parents' life. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that because yeah, children can ruin your favorite things.
Oh,
That's
well.
just how they go. Anyway, let's wrap things up there. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Awesome stuff there. Please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. On the review side, Somerville's out this week. I'm reviewing that one, so go check that one out. And there's heaps and heaps of other stuff popping up from a whole bunch of people on the site as well at the moment, because it's still a very, very busy time of the year. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks, lower tiers early access, high tiers monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto?
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next week, if you've got a hammer, raise it up. We'll see you next week.